and this was making all the little birds upset. I would be proud to have that bird shit on my boat. Hey, the boat search continues. I have put an offer in technically this morning.
Fook me, that was fun.
So I've pretty much made my decision already. I think I'm not going to waste one more brain cell trying to find a perfect boat. If one of the brokers calls me back today, and says, hey, we can show you these other boats that are only 2 hours away, I'll go look at them and make a more informed decision. I might even drive as far as Miami or the Keys to take a look at another boat. And that's it. So 1 or 2 days max, that's all the search is going to be. That's all we're going to do. Okay, so this is a philosophical bit. The question is, how hard do you look? I mean, do I set my sights on a Cape Dorian, for instance, which I know is a good sailing boat, or a Bristol, or some other boat? It just doesn't matter. You could choose the boat that you must have, and a person could spend weeks and weeks and weeks and lots of money traveling to see all these different boats in the world. Or do you just say, find one with good bones that'll float, buy it and move on, So the old Russ would have done the analysis. I would have built spreadsheets for sure, but I'm intentionally not doing that. On my computer here, I have a few boats that are good choices. And if the people are down, the Punta Gorda is only a 2-hour drive, and if it's a boat a 2-hour drive away, I'm willing to rent a car and go down there and check it out. But if it's a boat that's in Maryland or New York City, I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to say, no, let's find what's available, find one that floats, find one that's in good bones like we discussed already, and just buy it and move forward. So I think I'm already there. In fact, I don't know, but I told the broker I'd decide by Monday about which way I'm going to go. I think if I can buy a boat that's low in my price range, then it just reduces project risk altogether. I mean, so what? If you buy a boat less than $10,000 or less than $15,000, and it turns out to need a bunch of work, well, okay, you kind of expected that. And if it turns out that the boat isn't exactly what you want, and a year later you sell it and buy another one, whatever. As long as if you keep the price point low, then your risk is quite low as well. But if you drop $250,000 on a boat, like some people do, and you can look online, you can find boats well into the upper $500,000 range for a 10-year-old boat. Can you imagine that? Dropping $500,000 on a 10-year-old boat? Brother, you better be sure it's the boat you really want, and I guarantee you, you're still going to find things about the boat you don't like. So my new tack here is to lower the price point a lot and go for a boat that I know is going to need work, that I know is not perfect. I'm just looking for the solid fiberglass boat with good rigging, and preferably a diesel that runs reliably with clean fuel. If I can get those things done, then I really don't care so much if the galley's a wreck, and if the rest of the interior needs a wrecking ball and the dumpster. The boat had been on the market for quite a while, and it's already gone through several price reductions, so I certainly understand why the owner doesn't want to reduce price anymore, because I offer less than the current asking price. But we'll just see. We'll just have to wait and see what happens next. Yeah, so I offered money for the boat, of course, and the owner countered, and I countered, and that's where we're at now. So it's possible, I'll find out later today that I got the boat, or it's possible that we'll reach an impasse and I just won't be willing to go as high as the guy wants. We'll just see. Okay, I just finished varnishing the cup holder that goes in the cockpit. I'm going to get that installed here. While I was working, I got a call from the broker for the boat that's here in Florida, not even 2 miles away, and we've reached a deal. So I think I got the boat. Nothing's really sure until you get, of course, the contract signed, and we don't have that yet. But we're down to quibbling over $1,000, and that's as good as done, really, from my view anyway. But one never knows. The issue for the previous or the current owner is that they want to get the hell out of their marina slip fee. It's costing them $500 or $600 a month to pay for the marina fee, and I can understand that. And I think the buzz is that they owe money on the boat too, which is never good to have a boat that you don't like and owe money on it and be unable to sell it. That's not a happy feeling, I'm sure. And I've never been in that situation before. Yeah, so let's talk about boats. Later today, I should have a contract signed on the boat that I'm going to buy. It's right here in St. Petersburg, Florida. I could bicycle there in 10 minutes. I'm very close, so it's good that I didn't have to buy airplane tickets and start traveling all over the country looking at this boat or that boat. And then it's a matter of doing, so with the contract signed, then it's a matter of doing a sea trial this coming weekend probably. We'll take her out, put the anchor down and the anchor up, engine on, engine off, sails up, sails down, and just see, do I really want to buy it? And then I'm going to hire a rigger to climb the mast and inspect the rigging, the standing rigging. And if the inspections, the sea trial and the rigging and the underwater inspection don't yield any obvious things to worry about, then the sale goes forward. And then it's just a matter of transferring the money from one bank account to another, and then the boat's mine. So because I'm not that particular, I just wanted, like we talked about before, I wanted an old fiberglass boat, preferably from the 1970s or before, with a really thick hull, with bronze portholes and stuff like that, and I got one. And this is a CSY 37. It's got the tall rig on it, so bigger sail area, and she's was originally built for the charter fleet down in the Caribbean. So the boat will sail well. The interior cabin is a little bit funky. The boat's an ugly duckling. I mean, she's not pretty by almost any stretch. Even I think she's ugly, but she's got a different charm, you know, different than these modern plastic. And one thing I'll say about boat buying and selling, using my boat in Scotland as an example, I bought the boat for X. Let's say, I'm not going to tell you how much, but you can look it up. I bought a boat for X number of dollars, and I spent, you know, about $12,000 or $13,000 additionally on the boat. You know, the composting head cost almost $1,000. You know, I paid for a weld repair 2 times. We abandoned some hull fittings, and that involved welding, which I hired out, and I hired a coatings guy. So I think if I total up the invoices, we're looking at about $12,000 or $13,000. When I sell the boat, does that mean I get to charge X plus $13,000? No, sadly no. If you got the same as what you paid for it, then that's a miracle. Today, we're going to have a contract today. I just heard my phone chirp, so I'm sure I got the email contract to sign. And the agreed upon sales price for the boat that we're buying now, the new Skipjack, is going to be 58% of what the original listed price was. So you just soak on that for a minute. 58%. This is sea trial day. And that's a sound that I've really missed. On sea trial, and we dogged off because we had smoke coming out of the engine compartment, so we're investigating that now. Okay, this is how you know when a sea trial hasn't gone to plan, right? Sea So we don't know exactly what's the problem, but the engine compartment, we saw smoke coming out, or steam, but probably smoke. Probably no raw water flowing, probably, but again, this is a sea trial. And Peter up in the bow is our captain. He's doing a great job. You know, you got to be careful. This is somebody else's boat, so I've got to be very careful about. And in general, I do like the boat. So, pardon my hat hair. Yeah. So the I'll get my complete impressions from the sea trial later. But the initial impression is that as a boat goes, I like it. When we were done sailing and done with the sea trial, we were motoring back in, and the broker, who's a licensed captain, who's a very good boat driver, he noticed that we had some smoke, and I was listening for water spitting out of the exhaust, and I couldn't hear it, and we saw smoke / steam coming out of the engine compartment, to the point that I wasn't altogether sure that we should even open the hatch, and we didn't. We kind of chickened out and just put the anchor down to stop the boat and let it cool off, and we called for a tow, because again, neither one of us are the owner of the boat. He's the captain, he's representing the brokerage. I'm just a buyer, so I don't get to make decisions about troubleshooting engines and what to do with the ship. So the smart play, the safe play, is a call for tow, which is what we're doing now. So right now we're under tow. Hey there. So I just returned from the sea trial on the boat, which we will call the target boat, the CSY-37. And now the ball's in my court to think. And because I'm starving, I'm eating some food. No, this is scrambled eggs in a tortilla. So, and immediate thoughts. I mean, I just got back 20 minutes ago. Immediate thoughts is I haven't been on a rolling boat for quite a while, and I had lost my sea legs. And that's not me being ashamed. It's just the way it is. I hadn't been really properly at sea since the summer of 2018, when I was in the Canary Islands. Second thought, the boat itself is a good boat. Yeah. She has a bit, I think the weather helm was pretty strong. This boat will sail about 60 degrees to windward. We did a little test. And that's good enough for me. That's what my red boat cannot do at all. I cannot sail to windward in any fashion on my red boat. A little bit of weather helm is always a good thing in my training, because if you were to fall overboard, you'd let go of the wheel, of course, or the tiller, and then the boat will slowly turn itself into the wind, and then it will just physically stop, allowing the captain to swim back to the boat and catch up to it. And if you left a lifeline trailing behind the boat, you could drag your carcass back in the boat. This boat has very strong weather helm, to the point that we were riding at least 10 degrees, 20 degrees rudder just to try to hold course, and we felt like we were fighting it. Might be strong enough weather helm that an auto helm could not hold. So if I get this boat, that is something we're going to have to address. And a lot of that is just education. When we were coming back, we had finished the sailing phase, and we cranked up the motor, began taking in sails. A couple problems we encountered. The foresail is mounted on a roller furler, and the roller furler was fine to deploy the sail. It was not fine to take the sail back in. It did not want to roll at all. The furling line got buggered up on the drum, and it just would not unfurl, and I had to go forward and manually rotate the furler and tug the line in order to get it to take in sail. Similarly, the mainsail, which is not on a furling system, it has the regular tracks, the little trucks in the tracks, and it kept getting buggered up on the mast. So I was trying to tug the mainsail down, and it just would not come down, even with the halyard completely released. So it was very easy to get the sails in position to sail, very difficult to reduce sail. So that was a problem. The other problem we encountered was the engine itself. The engine coolant system failed us on the way back. This engine does not have a keel cooling system like my boat in Scotland had. This one has a saltwater intake side and has a freshwater side, and the freshwater side was pretty much empty, you know. so she overheated. We troubleshot that when we got back, but again, I was not the licensed captain, and I'm not the owner, and I'm not the broker, so I kind of kept my hands off on that one. Not my boat yet. But really, that's all done with, you know, and I'm going to relax the rest of today, and I'm not going to think too much about it. I'm not going to agonize about this. So let's get to our philosophical moment here. The cost of this boat that I'm paying is about 1/3 of what my red boat in Scotland is going to sell for, even if I have to come down in price to move it soon, which I'll do, so don't tell the buyers that. But so it's lower risk when you're buying a boat much cheaper. You know you're going to have work to do, but you're starting at a much lower point. And frankly, I wouldn't even insure the boat if I didn't have to insure it. You have to insure it if you're in the U.S. and you want to keep it in a marina. So I just have to think. You know, I thought and thought for over a year, looking at listings before I bought the red boat. I'm really tired now. And so I thought for over a year before I bought the red boat. I looked at listings for a long time while I was in Abu Dhabi, and I finally bought it. And damned if I didn't end up buying a boat that maybe wasn't well suited anyway. And that's not a complaint. That's just maybe all of us go through that sort of thing. So I'm trying to be a little more nimble on my feet here and say, you know, I am not going to spend a year looking for a boat. This boat is local. I can bicycle there, and we're just kind of working on some of the details, but I'll decide tomorrow what to do, to buy it or not. So thanks everybody. Have a lovely day. Take care. See that bug? And that one? Well, if you look closely, you'll see that that's actually two bugs. Certainly, they seem to have only one thing on their mind: having sex and floating wherever the wind carries them, because they don't seem to be flying with any purpose. Yeah, love bugs. Ugh. They don't bite. They don't hurt you. They'll land. Hell, they're on my leg right now. In fact, having sex on my leg. This one's on my shorts. Come on, guys. Get off my leg. Go get a room, for God's sakes.